there, Postal here! Today we're taking out our JU-288A. Right now there's an event, Impetuous Attack. Ooh, sounds fancy. Where you can get a lot of bonuses, and there's a lot of discounts going on with the German bomber line. I actually quite enjoy this bomber line. You may have noticed I don't do a lot of bomber videos, because I don't necessarily find the gameplay to be video-worthy. Especially my gameplay. I'm not doing any like next meta level shenanigans here. But I do like the German bombers. They're fast. They're pretty straightforward. You go from sector to sector. You drop your damn bombs. You move on to the next sector. You do everything you can to avoid the enemy. That's really what it comes down to, right? Let's drop 2 bombs here just to make sure we get it. Oh, screwed that one up. Probably didn't screw that one up, and I'm helping the people down at the bottom. Unfortunately, we are up against a B-32, which is has a lot more ground attack ability than this plane has. B is being flown by an actual good bomber pilot rather than Postal Monkey. You know, sucks to be my team. We're going to make a wide looping U-turn here. We're going to eventually get to the garrison. We can cap a garrison pretty easily. Yeah. So, some things about this bomber. I tend to fly it right here at the cusp of the, you know, optimum altitude and higher altitude. That way, if I need to dive down, I can dive down. But if I need to dive up, I can dive up. Oh, I'm hitting my air brakes for 8 seconds. I don't know if this will actually work. We'll see. It will work. He says confidently. Let's just get this one here. And get this one here. And get this one here. I don't know if that'll be enough, so we're going to continue our turnaround. We're going to zoom out a little bit and make a wide turn. And that way if we... Nope, we don't need to. So reload the bombs, and I'm going to push on to their command center and see what we can do there. So in the time frame that we were able to reload our bombs, we've done 2 bomb drops. The B-32 is probably just reloading now, or just done reloading. I'm going to be doing his bomb drop over in this general vicinity, so we need to be pushing along and keep pushing. This is like quite the opposite of a B-32, right? A lot less bombs, much faster airframe, much more maneuverable. Like everything about it is different than the B-32. Less hit points and all that jazz. Nope. All right, cool. Nope on a rope, as the kids say. Let's go ahead and see if 8 bombs should be able to get this, considering we've already done some damage. 8 seconds. Oh, crap. Air brakes. Air brakes. Air brakes. Nope, not going to make that. What we can do, though, is drop there. Drop there. Ooh, 1 bomb should get that. And then I'll drop 2 bombs here. Trying to make sure I'm also paying attention. 2 bombs there. You'll notice I still hit the targeting on my map here, so that way I know what the nearest plane is to me. That way I can always know if I'm in what kind of danger at any given time. The nearest plane to me right now is 5,000 feet away, so cool. We'll be okay. We've got 1 more bomb. I do want to drop said 1 more bomb, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's do... Oh man, we missed this center part here. So I'm actually going to drop it on this little measly piece of nothingness. And now we're going to move along. I guess we're going to move along to the to the garrison here. Yeah, you can tell when my bomb dropped because all the capture points just floated in there. So hopefully they can get 1 more air kill. And yes, we've got the sector. Stop shooting at me, AA. Unfortunately, I'm going near the spawn point like a moron, and I'm not paying any attention. P-38J, any heavy plane is just going to be the worst thing in the world for me right now. The P-38J can freaking keep pace with me, obviously, and altitude with me, obviously. I think I can. I'm actually slowing down a little bit to see if I can get him to come closer. But it is what it is. So they've captured the command center. That's fine. We're moving towards the command center now that we decided that we didn't want to die to a P-38J. And we're just paying attention to what's going on around us, right? Multi-rolls are going to typically have an issue with me at this tier. And we've had some pretty good luck all day today, having tier 7 matches all day. So I want to try to take advantage of that, right? Alright, we've got our bombs back. This sector is now available to capture, so let's go do that. I'm going to try to actually take out the higher altitude anti-aircraft, because that'll just help me live longer, right? I guess this is there anyway. And let's go ahead and let's get this. I'm trying to zoom here, trying to get my speed up. Let's keep on wiggling. Hopefully we can avoid the flak. Man, that's hurting. Get out of this sector, get out of this sector, get out of this sector. Flak, leave me alone. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have to stick over here for a little while. See if we can capture this command center back. Unfortunately, we've got our own planes dying in the sector. So any kind of capturing we might be doing is being countered by our own freaking planes dying. We're going to be in a lot of trouble here. I need to be capturing even more than I already am. Do we even... Our F7F needs to be picking up the pace. Oh well. 13 seconds. So, unfortunately, I did some a pretty bad bomb run that last time. Got my air brake on now. I'm hoping to be able to... drop that in time there. And that F7F could easily kill a B-32. It's not like you can't. But our planes keep dying in this sector. It's really annoying. I gotta do little. That's hilarious. Unfortunately, just not able to overcome our team's ineptitude. So, shame as it is, we were able to do some pretty good work there. This is a plane I do quite like. Just not able to overcome the enemy team. And, you know, it is what it is. Let's head on back. Alright, and so we were able to get, I mean, good capture points, right? Like, a personal score, no complaints. I honestly can't. And I can't imagine that the F7U, if this was an F7U, the game would have been different. The F7F on our team was probably being harassed a lot by the LA7. You know, so I can't pick on him for that. The fact of the matter is, as I've mentioned so many times, all you can control is what you do. And at the end of the day, I'm actually really pretty okay with this game, right? It's really not a good resounding support of myself, is it? Fact of the matter is, personally, I got a Doolittle, I got a Thunderer, I got a Conqueror. Doolittle for me, this is only my third freaking Doolittle. So that tells you just how often, A, how good I am at bombers, and B, how often I play. I'm not very good at bombers, typically, and I don't play them very often. Thunderer, I've gotten a bunch of Thunderers, typically with ground attack planes. And Conquerors you can get with anything, so who cares about Conquerors? No offense to those who struggle to get Conquerors. I'm more proud of the Doolittle for sure. It's just, it's my third one that I've gotten. And, you know, unfortunately, we were just hard countered by the two of these guys, right? This B-32 Super Papa, if you haven't run into him, is a really good pilot. Whether you run into him in a bomber or other planes, know that you're going to have a good battle on your hands. So keep that in mind. And I knew seeing him in a B-32, I was like, crap, we're going to have to try to outcap a B-32. And it didn't happen this time. But the Ju-288, I really do like this plane. And the only plane that I haven't liked on this particular line has been the Tier 5. Now, what I could say about that is the Tier 5 was actually the first bomber that I got. And so I might not have liked it because I probably just sucked at life. And maybe the Ju-88A is an okay bomber. I'm not looking forward to going back and finding out, though. The Do 217, I absolutely loved this plane. I kept it. I really like the way that this plane works. It's fast. It's relatively high altitude. It does what it does what you would want your bomber to do. The JU-88 at Tier 5 is just too slow for me. You couldn't get away from danger. The 217, you can get away from danger. The JU-288A, you can get away from danger. That being said, if an enemy heavy pilot wants to take you down, you're going to go down. ME-410s, P-38Js, all the way up to Tier 8 heavies. Mosquitoes can be a pain. Luckily, you can out-altitude them. The Key 102 can be a pain. Again, you can out-altitude it. Typically, the Key 102 pilots are, paying attention to the planes down below, so you don't necessarily need to worry about them as much as P-38 and ME-410 pilots. But we're just talking Tier 6 against a Tier 7 bomber. They'll still kill you, right? So the Tier 7 heavies and the Tier 8 heavies for sure will kill you. Your best defense in a JU-288A, from what I've seen, and please correct me anybody who actually knows what the hell they're doing, is to avoid the confrontation in the first place. Yeah, you have a ridiculous amount of hit points compared to planes of your tier. My plane is at 1,200 hit points. That doesn't mean anything. It's just more, it's XP pinata as far as I'm concerned. Whenever I see a JU-288A and I'm out there in my heavy fighter, I'm not scared. That's for sure. So use your speed, use your altitude if you need to avoid the confrontation. I play at my maximum optimum altitude. The reason being is because your accuracy is going to be better on the bombs, typically. Your speed's definitely going to be better. And so if I do need to speed away from somebody, me being at the optimum altitude is actually going to be better than me being at the higher altitude. Unless, going to the higher altitude is going to have them stall out or at least slow down. And that's why I will play as high as I do, because I can go higher if needed pretty easily. You didn't get to see it in this battle, but it's really, really important to be able to, if you're using your rear gunner, be able to angle up and angle down, angle left and right to avoid some of those shots. Especially at this tier, you're going to have planes like things like an ME-410. The 30mm cannons on that don't fire, a million times a second. They're firing every second or two. Well, every 3/4 of a second. And so you wiggling around has the chance of that 30mm cannon missing its target. And that's really important because that's the heavy dealing damage one. Yeah, you're going to get the machine guns are still going to hit you. But if the heavy cannon fire isn't able to hit you as consistently, you can survive for longer. And you're going to be able to either survive or maybe even kill them. So that's just a helpful hint as far as I'm concerned. Let's take a quick look at my equipment setup. I've tried to do some research on this plane. Thanks to Prenzlau a lot for talking with me in my Discord channel. He was talking with everybody quite a lot, so I was just kind of gleaning some information that he was providing. And I have focused more on survivability with this plane than I had previously. So right now the engine upgrade for the equipment is the actual engine armor. The consumable is the engine restart. The reason being is because you want your engines to stay... You need to keep moving. Your best defense is to not be attacked in the first place, right? Your best defense is to keep everybody as far away as possible. And you do that by having your engines working. And the armor protection and the manual engine restart are going to complete that. As far as the turret is concerned, for me, I've gone ahead and put the maximum firing range when controlled manually. So that's going to be your improved turret gun sight. The reason being is I tend to go into my turret quite often, so I'm manually controlling it quite often. So getting 12% effective firing range buff by being in it manually is a big deal as far as I'm concerned. And so I find this to be the most helpful right now. Once I specialize this plane, we'll see what I'll do with the additional equipment slot. For other consumables, I've got first aid dressing. This plane just doesn't catch on fire. I can't tell you the last time it ever caught on fire. And a plane that relies on its rear gunner so much, it's super important to be able to put your rear gunner in action as quickly as possible. So first aid kit, that's where I'm going first and foremost. I've also put in improved fragmentation. This is going to give you a 10% buff to the damage and blast radius of your bombs and rockets. I don't have rockets, but obviously I want my bombs to do as much damage as possible. And so that is 100% worth the 6,000 credits. You want that for any of your, honestly, for any of your ground attackers and bombers. Improved fragmentation is a must. As far as my pilot and my gunner are concerned, so my pilot right now is just a 5-point pilot. As such, I've gone ahead and put Demolition Expert on here, again, to increase the bomb and rocket blast radius and damage. That's going to be super helpful. So far I've got this up to 20% above what it would normally be, and you can see that in the metrics over here. For the next 2 points, I've gone ahead and put Cruise Flight on here to increase the view range and the engine thrust and top speed when I'm not under attack. And so what that means is it lets me, in my head, lets me see enemy heavy fighters, enemy whatevers that might be coming after me, and make an appropriate decision sooner rather than later. My next upgrade, typically on a plane that has a lot of equipment slots over here for the cockpit and the airframe and the engine, and I might be using it all for defense, I would do something like Protection Expert. For the JU-288A, I'm not sure that makes a whole lot of sense because I've only got one slot that's able to use defensive equipment. Granted, the turret might have that once I specialize it, so this discussion might change after I specialize the plane. But my first thought process is to go with Engine Guru on this, and then Engine Guru 2, again, to buff my speed as much as possible, keep me away from the danger in the first place, and then I don't have to worry if my armor's working properly, because the enemy couldn't get me. So that's my thought on the setup. It's all experimental as far as I'm concerned, because I'm just not, the bombers is not my forte. So I'd love to hear your guys' take on JU-288A specifically. Bombers in general, sure, but I really am looking for feedback on the JU-288A. A bomber I actually quite enjoy, and this bomber, and actually the bomber before it, really made me look forward to the rest of this tech line. If I'm enjoying the 288A, which isn't supposed to be all that good of a bomber, I'm going to really like the 288C, and God knows I'm going to like the JU-287 and EF-131, because everybody who actually flies them likes them, everybody that has to go against them hates them. So definitely be taking advantage. These Tier 4 through Tier 7 bombers are going to be on discount, 50% off if you don't already have them. The Tier 8 through Tier 10 are going to be 30% off. It's a great time to grind it. On top of that, this HE-111H2, which I do actually have. Where is it? Here it is. This is a Tier 4 premium bomber. It looks like it's a converted commercial airliner almost. Well, except for the front, I guess. I've done a video on this plane in the past. I really like this plane. And again, I'm not a bomber pilot, but I enjoy this plane quite a bit. This is premium, so you can put any bomber pilot and gun, or, excuse me, any pilot at all. You could put your MEP 1101 pilot in here if you wanted to, and any gunner that you want as well. If I remember correctly, the bombs are dropped in. They're dropped in groups of 4. It might even be groups of 8. They're smaller bombs, and you drop them in groupings rather than the single bombs like the JU. But what's nice about a Tier 4 bomber is you're only dealing with Tier 4 air defense aircraft bots. So they're not as smart, they're not as aggressive, and things are nicer at Tier 4. And so that being said, I really do quite enjoy this plane. I haven't flown it in a hot minute, but I'll put a link to the HE-111H2 video that I did post previously. It'll either be up top in the cards or it'll be in a link down in the description. I don't know which I'll do. But either way, this plane here is 30% off gold price. I don't know if it's off any kind of cash discount in the premium shop. I haven't looked. You can take a look yourself if you're so inclined. But it's definitely 30% off on the gold. If you're a bomber pilot, this is definitely a good bomber in my opinion. At Tier 4, does quite a bit of damage. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the JU288A video. And I also want to know, like, do you like this video? If you enjoy bomber videos, I will post them. I don't know, I don't know how many of you enjoy that kind of stuff. So this is a good opening to allow you guys to give me your opinion on just seeing bombers in general. Not that I'm going to be posting a bomber video every week, FYI. But I don't want to discard them completely if the community does want to watch them from time to time. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.